So I've been thinking a lot recently about like all the division going on in the world, especially out here in the United States. You've got, Democrat versus Republican again, people who trust the media versus people who don't trust the media. You have um, dating culture is very divisive where people are having trouble finding meaningful relationships. I remember I was actually talking with a guy friend who was having trouble in the dating realm, and it almost seemed like he had basically lost hope. And it's like I had a conversation with him that, there's bad relationship dynamics out there on all sides, and there's, good men, bad women, and we all kind of tend to forget about that, and we let the lowest common denominators overshadow the people who are worth our time. We live in a very superficial society wise where people just kind of want to, party and do all that stuff. And I remember back in my 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years, I used to take a lot of parts in that. Um, and the one thing I've realized is I wonder why, I got rebaptized back in 2020, actually 2021, like right beginning of 2021. And it was for times like this to where I could kind of see where it's all going because a lot of people are divided by race, gender, political affiliation. It's bad. A lot of people have lost their core values. A lot of people are living very superficial lives. And it almost seems like a lot of people now are more miserable than ever because they just don't have that connection. And it is kind of on us to seek out our purposes and seek out our connections and seek out where we're supposed to be. I myself had been praying a lot, saying, where am I supposed to be? And God was removing things from my life that had to be removed because things that worked for me had to make way. And your life is like a cup. You're not obligated to fill every facet of it. And despite what nihilism teaches us, we do have a purpose on this earth. And I think the reason these words kind of found me one day was because I was repenting for my old ways even before I saw it as repentance. I was trying to shed myself of a lot of bad habits that I had. I looked myself in the mirror and said, you know what, I'm going to start, getting my life together, building skills, getting rid of toxic friendships, and taking full inventory of how I got to where I was in my lifetime. And it hasn't steered me wrong. And I've been listening to other people talk about their truths and everything like that. And, one of the more interesting aspects is also Gnosticism that I've been reading into. And if you're a Christian, it could be highly controversial to look into because there's some aspects of it that like I just don't vibe with, but there are some aspects of it that really feed into what this book says, that really align with it. What they do talk about is how the devil is the god of this world. God created him to be the god of this world. And if you understand Gnostic texts and you understand the demiurge and this evil lesser god that keeps us trapped in this material world and from ascending to be with the higher god and all that stuff. And it depends on how, backwards you want to look at it or how you want to interpret it. A lot of people subscribe to all of Gnosticism, which I think could be highly dangerous because a lot of it, can seem very self-indulgent, satanic. So I stay away from overindulging in that. But there's a lot of those principles that I've really come into contact with, like, hylics, psychics, and nomadics, people who are going to understand what you're saying when you present it to them. Other people, hylics, people of the matter who are going to just kind of understand, not understand what you're saying. And if you try to preach to them, that it's going to turn out more bad than good because you're basically wasting your time. So, and the thing about this whole demiurge, the devil, right? the thing you got to realize is this world is more divisive than ever. Like I said, politics, race relations, gender dynamics, all that stuff. I see it all every day. And it is on us to kind of look past it and not feed into the worst scenarios. And especially with us, people who, have traumas or have had bad experiences. Because I know, people who have had bad experiences with different groups of people. I know men who have had bad experiences with women, women who have had bad experiences with men. People in different political affiliations having bad experiences, people having really bad race relation issues with each other. And it's easy to look at the lower common denominators and forget that there are a lot of people around that seek to look past that. And especially moving into 2024, I feel like that divisiveness all over has gotten way worse. And the main point of this video is to point it out. And I'm not saying to not let yourselves be divided and be passive, because at the end of the day, we do have to take a stand against evil. We cannot tolerate people who want to harm others. We cannot tolerate, people who are net negatives. We really just can't have that. But it is our responsibility to be around people who want to build something beautiful, who want to have their lives mean something, and who don't want to just waste away. Because right now it's very apparent that demons, the devil, all that stuff is working overtime to drag as many of us down there as we possibly can. And the number one thing that you can do to spit in evil's face is to get along. Despite all the things you see on the news, despite all of the propaganda you see out there, despite all of the influencers telling you that everyone else that doesn't look like you or talk like you is out to get you, ignoring those people is the direct spit in the face to demons. And getting along is the number one thing that you can do to reach that higher state of being. And, really you want to make it so that you are trolling evil, that evil is getting frustrated with you because why can't I bring this person down to this level? That's what demons do. That's what they always have done. And don't let them. It is what they do. And, obviously it's a crazy pill to swallow, and it's an interesting relief for me, at least, to know that I've seen this my entire life, and no, I'm not crazy. But once you realize that, the word comes and seeks you out and says, okay, you're ready to actually understand this and actually wield this, it's a whole nother level of kind of freedom, I guess you could say. And, sometimes you got to just stick to the instruction. And I think we're in for kind of a hard time, but if we stand fast, protect our hearts, because through our hearts, all things, flow through, I think we'll be all right. Peace out.